What is up, Buttercups? I know I look really calm right now, but I took some medicine so that my anxiety attacks don't stop me from being able to work at the club tonight. So I look normal on the outside, but inside I'm screaming. Anyway, my life is literally falling apart in front of my eyes. I need help. If you have nothing to give, share my content. Repost it. Comment 5 words that would end a date immediately. If you do have any kind of money to give, please, I need it right now. I have like a 7-part story to tell you guys about everything that's happening. Another thing that can help is if anyone has an iPhone 14 or newer that they're willing to donate to me and my fiance, that will also be very fucking helpful right now. But anyway, so that I don't cry at work, I'm gonna go. I'll give you guys a story time tomorrow. Love you, mean it. They should really make a movie about my life. That would be an amazing drama. Okay, so essentially this story is in 4 different parts. We have the roommate situation, the housing situation, my health, and literally everything else. Otherwise, it would be 7 parts of this story. I'll get to the roommate situation later. Oh my God. The stuff that I was posting about yesterday where I said my life is falling apart before my eyes. I don't know if you've heard of the medicine propranolol. It is meant to get rid of any of the physical attributes that are brought on with panic attacks, anxiety attacks, whatever. I had to be on a double dose of that just to get through my shift last night, but I did. So go to the next video for part 1. I have a plan. Everything's going to be fine. I just need help. You'll see why. God damn. The only thing that I want you to keep in mind in this whole thing is 2025, that was the least amount of money I've ever made as a midnight ballerina, which just makes everything else harder when you don't have the money to help yourself. Anyway, I don't know if you guys saw the video where I kind of did a slow-mo of all these sparks flying at the phone. Well, that was the last video that my fiance sent to me from his Samsung, right? So we have a Samsung 24, whatever. Lumberjack has been working on some woodworking projects that he's been doing in the garage. He's been refurbishing furniture. He's been building furniture out of scraps of other furniture and basically doing this for like his mental health. It's fun for him and we can use these pieces either in the house or to sell. Well, while he is using this metal grinder in order to do his job, he's a handyman, construction, whatever the fuck. The grinder flies at the phone and breaks the screen. So I call around, I try to see who's gonna give me like a reasonable price in this economy, I guess, to replace the screen on his phone. I go to Total Wireless. I had the worst experience. So they fix the screen, takes them a week to fix the screen. A week to fix the screen. It was $250 for them to fix that screen. Well, within 12 hours, I think it was within 8 hours, he dropped his phone while on the toilet. So what, that's 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. The screen goes black again. So his alarms are going off. He's getting text messages and all the notifications, but the screen is black. He can't use it. So I call back. I have a receipt that says keep in case of returns or refunds or whatever the fuck, right? I call them and they say, oh yeah, we could take a look at it. They take a look at it and go, oh, sorry, it's going to be another $250 for us to replace this screen. And I said, what are you talking about? It hasn't even been 12 hours. Why do I have to pay again? Now, mind you, me and my sister and her friends had been planning a beach trip for months now, which was going to be fiscally responsible for all of us. It's within all of our budgets. I went ahead and paid like a month or 2 ago. I don't remember. I have time blindness. I don't know that he broke his phone the second time until I'm in the middle of my drive on the way down to St. Augustine to go spend the weekend with my sister. Me, her, and 2 of her friends have had a really rough year, as has everyone, and we just needed it for mental health. I don't know if you guys saw my stories or my post on Instagram, but my face, my whole body was so swollen from the amount of stress that I was under just trying to keep up with bills. Also, I posted on Twitter and said, did you guys hear that strippers are the ones that kind of can tell you if we're in a recession or not? Do you hear us yet? Okay, so we've already paid the Total Wireless $250 to fix the screen, and within 12 hours it breaks, and they ask for another $250 to fix it again. So my fiance goes to the store and is like, listen, just give me my phone back. And they're like, no, we can fix it. And he goes, we don't have the money. We gave them the last of our money. Only money I had was enough to get us groceries and to be able to get some food while I was down in Florida. Again, I'm out of town at this point. I don't know how much you guys keep up with my life, but Lumberjack's work truck has also broken down. The timing belt is fucked and it doesn't run. It doesn't run. So we started sharing a car, but now I'm out of town. So because we couldn't afford a U-Haul, which was only going to be like $200 or $300, he asked his best friend if he could borrow his pickup truck so that he could do his job. His friend was going to be out of town too anyway. Fuck it. He's like, yeah, dude, I got you. So while I'm driving, not only am I trying to call Total Wireless, call his friend to make sure he gets to the airport on time so that Lumberjack can have his truck, but I'm calling people to see if anyone has an extra phone for Lumberjack to use because we can't afford to fix this one again. I call my stepdad. I know he has multiple lines. I figured he might have a phone somewhere. He does. So he overnights us an Android, but because Lumberjack and I are not officially married yet, he's not allowed to have access to any of my account stuff for AT&T in order to get this phone figured out. He said, you know what? My job has already, he has a job. He hasn't been able to call them or contact them at all. He can't log into social medias. He can't log into his email. He forgot all the passwords and he's locked out of everything because he was trying to guess it. Hasn't been able to contact his boss. That job's most likely gone. If a company doesn't hear from you for over a week, what's going to happen, you know? Fast forward to the day I come back from Florida. I finally was able to just let things go and relax for a couple of days. On my drive back, I get a call. Now, mind you, he doesn't have a phone, but I have security cameras and a Ring doorbell. So guess how we've been talking this entire time? Worst part about that is he's so upset that he's yelling because we're both ADHD and neurodivergent. When we get anxious, we get very loud, or if we get excited, it doesn't matter. He is so loud that the camera that's in the living room that I was trying to talk to him through on the speakers on that cut out, and I couldn't hear a word he was saying. Okay, so my fiance doesn't have a phone, has a backup but can't get it to work, doesn't have a truck, so is using his best friend's truck. The only way he can communicate with me is through the security cameras in our living room by talking to the speaker. And he's yelling because he's so angry, but the sound is cutting out and I can't hear anything that he is saying. So I have to ask him to repeat it a few times, which makes it worse. And the anxiety is building, right? Apparently his best friend's truck got towed from our apartment complex where we pay for a garage. He parked in visitors parking because we didn't have a parking pass. This apartment complex has also been under 5 different management companies in the last couple of years because no one wants to take care of this apartment complex. But the rule essentially is if a visitor is parking in visitors parking, they can't park there for more than 2 consecutive days without a parking pass, right? Well, day 3, when you're supposed to get the parking pass, the office is closed because it's a Sunday. Day 4, Monday, they tow the car before the office even opens. So there was no way for me to contact anyone to even get a parking pass. Now, his best friend is in Alaska right now for his once-a-year trip to see his kids. The towing company won't give us the car unless the owner is here or we have a notarized letter stating all the information, letting us have the truck. Do you know how fun it is to find a notary in Alaska in the middle of January? So at this point, I have been driving since 7 a.m. from St. Augustine, dropped off someone at the airport, one of the girls that was with us, and got home to Charlotte by 3 o'clock. All while calling his friends to be the mediator and try to fix everything and be his communicator to everyone. Because how else is he supposed to talk to people? Well, I finally get the tow company on the line. It's going to be $600 to get the truck out. Mind you, The only reason that I was able to buy food in Florida and to even get, what did I get? I got this like new container for my pills that says poison on it because it was cute. It was like $5. Only way that that was able to happen is because some wonderful customers wanted to spoil me while I was on vacation. So I spend every single dollar on gas and getting back home after all the food and my one little trinket. So I call my mom because my mom is basically just my guardian angel. She sends me her credit card info and says, use this, you can pay me back. That way we can make sure you get the truck for your friend and not accrue more fees for it being on the lot for too long. Me and my fiance go to a notary, but turns out we don't need to notarize our signature. We need to notarize the owner's signature, so we're waiting on that. At this point in the story, I'm just bawling my eyes out. My face is so tight from just straining from crying and stress that I'm freaking the fuck out and I can't even speak. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse. Okay, so by the end of Monday, by about 6 p.m., we gave up on trying to wait on a notary in Alaska and try to get all that. We were like, we're just gonna go to bed and fucking get some rest. But first we stopped by AT&T, bring the phone my stepdad sent us since my fiance doesn't have a phone or a truck or the other truck. We bring the phone to them and we're like, hey, we need to get this put onto his phone number. Turns out the battery is warped on the phone and we can't even use it. It doesn't even turn on. That's what she said. So after being there for about 2 hours, combing through all of our options, the only other option was add a line to our plan for another $50 a month, which gives us a new phone if we can turn a phone in. The only problem is we only have one phone and this one's already paid off. So I figured we'd get the new iPhone. I would give him the one that I currently am holding. And he said, listen, all you have to do is within the next 30 days, get an iPhone 14 or newer. Doesn't matter if it's beat up, doesn't matter the condition, just an iPhone 14 or newer to turn into us within the next 30 days. And we can get you like whatever fucking deal he gave us. I don't remember. My brain is so shot right now. Now it is currently Wednesday. The phone is supposed to show up before 4 p.m. today. Yesterday morning, yesterday being Tuesday, we woke up really early. We went to go to the tow yard. And then after having the title, the keys, the notarized letter from Alaska, from the owners saying that we can take it, and having my mom's credit card so that we could pay for it, they said, we can't give it to you unless you have the proof of insurance on the truck. What the fuck? We're like, listen, we don't have proof of insurance. You guys never said that. So they were like, all right, well, it's a $30 charge if you don't have proof of insurance. Fine, whatever. We just need to get this thing out of here. Okay, well, if you're going to do a credit card, it's another $30 charge. Fine, we don't care. Just take it. Well, now they can't take my mom's credit card. Has to be cash or debit only. No credit cards allowed. So I'm frantically calling all of my friends asking if anyone can last minute loan me $600. My best friend comes in clutch, sends it to us without any questions, and says, I trust you, I know you'll pay it back when you can. Which you'll understand why that means a lot when I tell you the roommate story. By the way, no, she's not living here anymore. We kicked her the fuck out. So my friend sends me the $600. We get the truck and I'm like, babe, can we just take it to his house, leave it there so we don't have to deal with this anymore? Drop it off and then we go to Food Lion and try to get some groceries because we don't have any food. I'm hungry. My bank account is negative now. So now I'm frantically texting more friends asking if anyone can send me $50 so that we can just get some food for this fucker over here and just some staples for us so that we don't go hungry. Don't worry, it gets worse. One thing I forgot to mention, on my way home, I was texting one of my regulars who's been a friend of mine, regular turned friend for years, right? I texted him, updating him on the situation, asking if there was any way to help. I said, I don't care if this is a loan or a gift. However, you just need to specify so that I know how to treat this situation. He said, yep, I can help. Give me a few hours. I'm doing some work. I said, cool. Couple hours later, he says, sorry, I'm too stressed out. Or his words were, I got too much going on. I can't help. Okay. So then that's when I called my mom, got the credit card, but then they didn't accept it. So then I had to call my best friend to borrow $600, and then we got the truck out. But you're stressed out. I get it. It's fine. I'm not crying. You're crying. So we have the phone that was his, screen not fix. Phone 2 not work because battery. Phone 3 arrives today. By this point, any normal human would fall apart. And I was falling apart. He was falling apart. We were just irate. Also, mind you, he owns a security company where they do security for companies and tow people. He knows how the law works. He knows how towing companies work. So when he went to the office before I got back from Florida, he said, okay, well, if we got towed, can you just call them and tell them it was a misunderstanding and to bring the car back? Because the property manager has the power to do that. She said, no, sorry, there's nothing I can do. So then he goes, okay, well, can I get a parking pass for when we get the truck out so that we could put the parking pass on there? And she refuses to give us the parking pass. So now at this point, my fiance is yelling because he is so frustrated. He goes, then what the fuck is the point of any of this? He leaves because he's like, whatever, I'm going to get Carson to deal with this. So I go in there and immediately this woman starts cussing at us and says, it's always you people. I have a 5-minute video of the interaction, but I didn't start recording until she called the cops on us because she felt like her life was threatened. We didn't ever threaten your life, ma'am. We're just loud. Also, I've lived in this apartment complex since it was built in 2020. I've not done anything except for try to help improve this fucking neighborhood. She starts lying to the cops about what's happening. So I'm like, okay, let me start recording because fuck this. She doesn't feel safe around my fiance, so he leaves. And I'm sitting there just like, can I please just get a parking pass? Can I please just get a parking pass? Lumberjack says, babe, let's just go. She can call the cops all she wants. She's just going to be laughed at. So we go. I take care of doing my daytime Tuesday thing with my work wife, which is recording podcasts, doing photo shoots, and trying to work on all my online stuff so that I can try to get some money. Well, then I leave for work. My life is falling apart, part 6. So I finish doing all of the daytime stuff that I do for social media, behind the scenes, whatever, creating content, podcasts, blah, blah, blah. I grab all of my stuff and I get ready to go to the club to go work a shift. But I take a lot of medicine so that my anxiety attacks and panic attacks don't arise and show during the shift so that I can get through a shift and actually work. Mind you, I've been sick since Christmas. Ever since I left for Florida to go see my mom for Christmas, I worked January 1st and yesterday. But I had a cough so bad that I wasn't able to work for 3 weeks. So I grab my stuff and I start heading to work and a letter falls out of my door. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's a letterhead from a lawyer saying that we have 10 days to vacate because we threatened supposedly the life of the property manager, which I have video footage showing that we did not. I also have a witness, although I'm sure he won't say anything. I'm sure he'll be like, man, I don't know about this, because why would you do that and potentially lose your job? So now we are sharing one phone in the house, sharing one car in the house, and now we have to vacate the house in 10 days. I'm in the middle of paying off my debt. Our lease wasn't supposed to be up till August. I was supposed to get my credit score up in time for the lease to be over and debt to be all paid off in order for us to start renting a house, because Lord knows we can't buy a house in this fucking economy. So again, the only way that I can cope is either cleaning or working out or making a plan. And since I do not have time to work out and I need to focus on work, I work on a plan. I write down everything I need to get everything above water and for us to get back on track, get a new home, get a new phone, get him a new car. But I also told Lumberjack, He is more valuable to our household as my full-time assistant than he is going to work and potentially getting my car in the middle of a wreck, or since he does construction, getting it damaged in any way while doing a job. So I'm like, listen, I'm going to set up a training program to train you as my assistant so that you can help me with my online stuff, editing videos, doing all the behind the scenes stuff, so that we can have some more income while I'm at the club. And then, of course, you guys saw the post that I said where I was like, if you have anything to give, now's the time. We need help. And for those of you that have made it this far into the story, thanks for listening. If you have nothing to give or you don't want to give, just comment and share all of my videos. I'm probably going to do that sticker thing again where you give me your address, I send you stickers, and you post my QR code in a city near you so that you can help me advertise. If you do have money to give, now is the time. My name is my website, and there are options on there. And again, we're looking for an iPhone 14 or newer in order to turn that in so that we can get him a phone. I'm also going to be working at the club every single day. I'm going to be doing photo shoots and making content every single day until we can get this figured out. My mom, my fiance, and myself and my friend, we're all looking for houses for rent in the Charlotte area so that we can hopefully move out, even though it was just a letterhead from a lawyer, which isn't an official eviction notice. These are not the only issues I've had with this apartment complex. That's a whole other story. As I'm telling this story, I got a notification saying that my AT&T bill just came out of my bank, and now my bank account is negative $100. God. And I thought the roommate situation was the worst part of the last month. Nope. Oh, and final note, I did sit down all of my managers, a couple of my favorite waitresses, told them what's going on so that if for some reason I need to leave work because my mental capacity is breached, exceeded the limit, I can't handle work or whatever, because I have to go in for as many hours as possible. But I also want them to know what's going on in my life so that they know that this is just a shitty time and I'm not trying to just run away from work. I love my job. I've been working there 13 years. I love my job. My managers know me well. They know that I work really hard. And yeah. Anyway, that's all the story that I have for today. Sorry it took so long. It's just we've been going through a lot. But it's been really nice to just have community. So thank you to everybody that's helped, is going to help, or has supported me in any way. Love you. Bye.